having watched cinema from all across the world, suddenly a gem in my own country. And this is my first Kannada film, so you can imagine my state of mind right now that I'm blown away by the Kannada film industry, and I'm really looking forward to watch more movies. Hello everyone. Today we're going to do the movie review of Ulidavaru Kandante. I hope I said that correctly. I watched this movie and it was my first Kannada movie, and let me tell you, I have watched a lot of movies in my life, be it Spanish, Italian, Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, Turkish, American, Korean, Chinese, Japanese. Even in India I have watched Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Bengali movies, Marathi movies, Konkani movies, but this was my first Kannada movie, and I'm not lying when I'm saying that this is one of the best movies I have ever seen in my life. Everything about this movie is so well crafted. This is a complexly crafted, artistic, cinematic masterpiece. Now, before going any further into the details of the movie, I want to emphasize on the most impressive parts of the movie, which are four things: the cinematography, the camera work, the background score, and the editing. Without these four pillars, this movie would have not been able to convey in the most perfect way that it has. So, a big emphasis on these four things from my side because those were immensely impressive to me. What holds these four things together is the story and the direction. The writing, this movie is truly driven by the writing. It's very rare in today's time that we see in the mainstream Hindi movies or the mainstream Tamil or Kannada or any movies, the commercial entertainers. They are very entertaining, but they're not driven by a well written script or a story or something different, something unique. This movie was completely based on the writing, and that is what is absolutely impressive about this movie. The Now let's talk about the acting. The acting is phenomenal. I have not seen such natural performances by each and every character in an ensemble movie. In many movies, you either see a kind of filmy element to it, you see an over the top acting, you see an over the top situation, but being a debutant director, he has got out these brilliant performances from all his actors, including himself. And the beauty is that with every chapter, as the story progresses, the acting graph goes from here to here. So if you notice, if the acting graph had gone down or if it was shaky, then the movie would be unstable. But it just kept rising to the top. So it this is the graph. It starts with the journalist, Raghu, Richie, the mother who's played by Tara, Munna, and then Balu, which is, I mean, okay, there's the kid also in the middle who's fabulous, so he's second last, and then there's Balu. So the graph is just going up. Every performance is better than the previous one, and you don't know which is the best performance. So each and everything, the technical aspect, the music, the acting, the editing, everything is just so brilliant. And on top of all this, this movie is released in 2014. On top of all of this beauty and perfection, the whole movie delivers to the audience. And it's 2016, and I'm sure 20 years hence we'll also still be discussing what exactly happened in this movie. So that's just a master stroke by the director, who and he's a debutant director, which is more unbelievable because this to achieve such a level of amazing cinema is not a joke, especially in the first movie. So the movie is divided into five chapters. Every chapter is about one character who's narrating the incident which happens in the movie. Of course, since this is a 2-year-old movie, doesn't need to be a spoiler-free review. So the incident is the death of two or three people. Whether it's two or three, we'll get back to that point in a bit. So it's about the death of two or three people and how the remaining people around their lives narrate to a journalist. Keep this in mind, a journalist. I will come back to the point. Narrate to the journalist what exactly happened from their perspectives, and the journalist kinds of ties the loose ends together and that's what we see on screen when no one is narrating and they are still showing us some scenes. That's the journalist's point of view when she actually puts all the pieces together from her perspective and gives us a story with no perfect conclusion, because this movie is about perspective and the director wants to play on our minds about perspectives, and he wants us to have our own perspectives, which they can be 100. So from an audience's perspective, when you finish the movie, there are many, many unanswered questions that we want to ask and we want to answer, like, is Raghu really dead? Why did Munna kill Richie? Was the mother story real? Who told the mother story? There are so many questions. What was the thing? Was it the thing was the Krishna idol? What was it? And whether Balu was really a weed addict or was he imagining things? So many questions that are unanswered. The audience, all of us, have all these questions, and we feel that the director has expected us to have our own perspectives of all these things. Now, let's analyze this from a director's point of view, from a filmmaker's point of view. Just flip the table right now and think, if you were making such a movie or any movie, would you keep so many loose ends? Would you keep so many questions unanswered? I don't think so. You would want to portray as much as you can and just leave one or two things unanswered to play on the audience's mind. Just like it was done by Christopher Nolan in his Inception, where he spins the totem at the end of the movie, and then you have 100 questions about what is limbo, when is he in limbo, and you keep watching the movie over and over and again to make sense of that end scene. Similarly here, they leave it open when Richie's friend says that Richie would not kill Raghu because they were so good friends, and then the journalist says, we don't know what's right, what's wrong, we don't know what's true, what's not, but this is what I heard and this is what they told me. So that's the key thing, that we need to determine whether Raghu really died and why exactly Munna killed Richie. So from a director's point of view, I personally don't think he has left so many questions unanswered. It is just the ending bit that he has left open. And let me tell you what I think he has done. Many people complain that the director has taken too much liberty in putting into scenes wherein no one is narrating it. And it's the journalist's point of view that he's shown us, which many of us don't want to believe that it's the correct point of view. But here's why he must have put that in place. The reason is that character is playing a journalist. It could have been anyone, but it's a journalist. It is whatever we read about incidents, whatever we know anything about, it comes from journalism, investigative journalism. It's not a cop, it's not a detective who's finding out things, it's a journalist. So it's one of us, but someone more reliable, because she finally wrote an article. So what's presented in the movie is the article which we are going through, and at the end there's no conclusion. So all these loose ends which she has tied up as a journalist is the best possible explanation which the director gives to us. There can be 100 different ways to look at it. Look at, for example, who narrated the mother's incident, or we don't really know if Raghu died, or we don't really know if Raghu stole the thing, or we don't really know blah blah. So all these questions, the director did not necessarily leave it open completely. He has given the best possible explanation to what's not narrated by giving us the journalist's point of view. So we, as an audience, as someone who knows the story, have to accept that as the best possible explanation. But yet we can ask questions whether that is the perfect explanation. As the theme of the movie goes, there's no correct, there's no wrong, there's no truth. You don't know what the truth is, you don't know what's a lie. So the best possible explanation is presented to us. It's not that everything is left open. It's only the ending bit that it's kind of twisted, and we have to kind of rewatch and understand what exactly is happening. And that's the beauty of the movie, that no matter how many times you watch it, or every time that you watch it, you'll discover something new. You'll find a new element. Now, the second question that many people seem to ask is, what was that thing, and whether it was Krishna's idol, because there was a thing explained in one of those plays or performances going on, and there was the flute music, etc. Now, whatever it is, it's possibly Krishna's idol. We don't know what it is, but we know that it is valuable. We know that, I think Shankar was that kind of villain's name. So we know that everyone was after it because it was valued so much and they wanted it for some reason, but we don't need to stress on that because it's not important or contributing to everyone's reason of doing what they did in the movie. So it's just an aspect that we need to know that everyone was kind of after something, like what happens in movies like Snatch and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. This is what everyone's after, but it's not really important to know what that thing is. It can be anything, and it's not going to make a difference to the storyline, or it's not going to change the plot line. So that's a kind of a minor detail that all of us, it's kind of a distraction, but we don't need to stress so much about what was it. It could be anything, and most probably, as most of y'all have already discovered, it's probably a Krishna's idol, which, as described in the play, was very valuable and historic. So, what do I make of this movie? What do I think happened in a very simple way is this. Munna rode on his bike after smoking a joint which he's not used to. He said he cannot can handle the high. So he smoked an entire joint and he's riding with a confused mind about life, about love, and also about Balu because he heard about the blood stains. Of course, again, that's a loose end, but he heard about the blood stains. He kind of has a doubt that something has happened to Balu. So he's riding on the motorcycle and he sees his love interest, who is the sister of Balu, waiting outside as if Balu has not returned so late. So she's waiting and she's anxious and she's worried. And he sees that. So he's pretty sure now that he connects the dots. He's pretty sure that Balu's been killed or something has happened, horrible has happened to Balu. So he goes away and he doesn't see behind that Balu is walking when he rides away. So he doesn't see Balu returning. So in his head, Balu's dead. So he goes there and he absolutely doesn't have an intention of killing Richie. He just goes to probably find out what happened. But then he goes there and he sees Richie dancing like nothing's happening. He sees, you know, then he suddenly sees a gun and he's high. He can't handle it. He doesn't know what to do. Life is so confusing and he just picks up that gun and shoots. He didn't even go there with the intention of killing him, but it just happens. So then the explanation given by Richie's friend saying that, Richie couldn't kill Raghu, etc. I think that's just a cover up. I mean, there's no reason, for him to disclose that yes, Richie killed him and yes, there was a thing. There's no reason for him to do that. I think he feels he's still protected by Shankar. I hope that's the correct name. So he's still protected. So he's just, covering things up. And that's pretty simple because he's been shown throughout the movie like a very loyal guy to Richie. No matter what Richie does, he's smiling, laughing at his jokes. Even if he's not cracking jokes, he's smiling. He's just supporting what Richie does throughout the movie. So he's not, I don't think that he's really telling the truth. He's just probably covering up. And that is the best explanation that is possible. And we should take that at face value. I really look forward to watching more movies from this director. I really look forward to following these actors, especially the guy who played Balu, because his performance to me was the best performance in the film. And I thank you for recommending this wonderful movie because it has completely changed my perspective of level of filmmaking and what to expect from more films in the future and how it's set a new benchmark, so to speak. So this movie is brilliant. I did not expect it to be so brilliant. I did expect it to be entertaining and I did expect it to be something nice, but this to me suddenly changed my opinion of what a really brilliant film is. So, as I said before, having watched cinema from all across the world, suddenly a gem in my own country. And this is my first Kannada film, so you can imagine my state of mind right now that I'm blown away by the Kannada film industry and I'm really looking forward to watch more movies. So I hope you like this review. Before you guys just comment and give your opinions on what's right, what's wrong, what your perspective is, I want to say that this was my understanding, my perspective in terms of what the movie is about. I've kind of tried to put the director's hat on and think if I make the film, how I would make it. So that's kind of what I explained. So I would love to know what your perspectives are, what you guys think about this movie, because the discussion can go on and on forever about this movie. So please leave your comments below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Kannada movie reviews and trailer reactions. And I actually watch the movies and give my reviews, guys. So stay tuned, subscribe, take care.